A very good evening. Thank you for joining us for the 10 o'clock edition of the UBC News Tonight. My name is Wadulo Mark Arnold and we have Mogalu Muhammad on sign language. And it's going to be an hours-long bulletin, so do sit tight as we inform you. In our first story, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has reminded communities of Ankole sub-region to engage in productive activities since billions of monies are now lying idle at parishes. The president was officiating the welcome and thank you party for the newly appointed Minister of State for Disaster Preparedness and Refugees, Dr. Lilian Aber in Kitgum District.
Gratitude, and the people of Ankole, the people of Northern Region and the entire country are in Kitgum today to express their happiness, to express their gratitude, and to celebrate with me. This is where I was born, where I grew up from, and it is only worth that I brought this celebration back home.
That was Honorable Lydia Naba's address to the media before she stepped out of her residence for a Thanksgiving ceremony, a journey which was lit up by a procession in Kitgum town.
But in the security forces include...
At Kitgum Institute grounds, the thank you event venue, Lydian was received by traditional dancers. Already at the venue were dignitaries including ministers, members of parliament, religious leaders and service chiefs.
This is how the NRM wants Ugandans excited, happy, proud of their leadership, and we want to take this opportunity to thank the President for testifying before Ugandans that he's very inclusive about the young people and very intentional.
So this is a joyous moment for the people of Kitgum, because it is a demonstration also of the confidence in their vote, but also to give an opportunity to their daughter.
This is the right person for Ankole region to mobilize for the youth, women and children.
Right now, in the office of the Prime Minister, we welcome her with two hands, because we know most of the Lord work we shall now be sharing with her.
The prayer dedication of Minister Lilian Aber was done by clergy.
God, bless your daughter, Lilian Aber.
It demystified the mystery that leadership only comes from a wealthy family.
And she can be assured that the beauty of her job is that she has got Mao there to support her. She's got Hillary Onek to support her. She's got Ankole to support her. She's got me to support her. She's got Biti Sanywa to support her. So we will give her all the necessary support to ensure that she receives a soft landing.
And I would like to confirm that we shall work very closely with Honorable Dr. Lilian Aber, and will mentor. I will try my best with my experience to mentor her in that position, given the experience I had acquired over the years.
On her behalf, Dr. Lydian Aber thanked President Museveni for this elevation.
To thank God for the favors he has bestowed and showered upon me. Your presence here today is a manifestation of your grandfatherly, fatherly and parental qualities you possess in abundance, Your Excellency.
Aber therefore promises dedicating herself to this appointment.
I am under obligation to thank you for entrusting me with a ministerial position in the cabinet of Uganda, not any other country, but Uganda. I'm extremely indebted to you, and I want to pledge before my people, before my parents, before my kinsmen, before my religious leaders here today, that I will never at any one point let you down, Your Excellency.
For the chief guest, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni preached development in his entire address.
Now there is PDM,
Kumbiti chani bere parish development model chene machero bodwa wa parish million mia chele magamento kele.
With the PDM money.
Tinga wa yini kichene me parish development model li.
We are sending 100 million per parish each year. And if we see 100 families this year, 100 families the next year, if we think the speed is not enough, we can go back, discuss with our people in parliament and make it 200 million instead of 100 million. We can increase it. But let us start and let us see success.
The president also tasked the RDC Kituguman Chief Administrative Officer to shed light about the PDM funds after locals negated about the program.
RDC Kitugum Kao Kitugum Binokan.
19th of April, which is 3,618 million.
You give how many households?
7,045 households.
7,000.
Yes.
Reacting to concerns raised by leaders, President Museveni directed Uganda Tourism Board to work closely with concerned parties to handle the matter of penetration of elephants into the community. The request to start up skilling hubs at the lower levels hit a dead end, as this was rejected by the President on grounds of limited resources. The event was closed by the ceremony of receiving opposition supporters who have willingly joined the NRM party and a photo moment by a section of attendees of this party. Robert Onyango, UBC News, Kitugum.
Leaders in Greater Ankole have commended President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni for his vision of skilling the youth in the region in order to curb unemployment. Now, this was at a graduation ceremony of 507 students who acquired vocational skills at Greater Ankole Zonal Industrial Hub, located in Moko Village, Rushozi Sub-County in Mbarara District. Students from the second and third intakes completed their vocational training and were awarded certificates in leather processing, that is shoemaking, tailoring and designing, bakery and confectionery, welding and metal fabrications, hairdressing and makeup, carpentry and joinery, building and construction practice. The State House Comptroller, Jane Bareche, highlighted that President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni decided to start the industrial hubs to, among others, fight unemployment by creating jobs among the youth, reduce criminality, and above all, improve household incomes. And in more news tonight, Uganda Bureau of Statistics has dispatched the first consignment of iPads, tablets to 9 districts of northern Uganda to be used in the National Population and Housing Census slated for the 10th of May 2024. While launching and flagging off the materials, State Minister for Planning, Amos Lugolobi, said that almost 80% has been achieved as far as the preparation for the exercise is concerned. Our reporter Farida Namfuka has more details.
The Census Warehouse for Storing Materials and Data Processing Center in Tinda was a hive of activity as iPad tablets were being packed for delivery to different parts of the country in preparation for the census exercise slated for 10th May 2024.
To the stage of provisioning where the application, census application that has the questionnaire, the enumerator's manual, census map for each enumeration area is undertaken. You have noted that each tablet has one map of a given enumeration area.
The first consignment that was flagged off by Minister of State for Planning, Amos Lugolobi, contained 3,410 tablets to be delivered to 6 districts of northern Uganda. The districts are Gulu District, Gulu City, Apach, Aleptong, Amolata and Otuke. The iPads are to be handed over to chief administrative officers in districts and city clerks who have to directly be responsible for their safety. Remuneration manuals have already been delivered to the districts.
Now at distribution, every enumerator will provide a national identification card, their card and a NIN. We shall capture it. And these tablets, as the minister told you, are trackable. We have the device. So even if you tell us lies that they have stolen them, whoever will be having it will be caught. Assault, we shall first incapacitate them and recover them. These are government property. Whoever is found misusing this property or stealing it will pay for it.
On recruitment of enumerators, WOBOS cites a challenge of malpractice from local governments where people who did not do interviews are the ones being recruited. Government reminds the public that this is not a survey but a national census where they need to participate and provide information that will aid in planning for the country, hence provide necessary services.
The respondents, the people of Uganda, that this is their information that they submit to the enumerators is going to be kept in secret. It's confidential information. It's not going to be released to anyone, including the tax authorities in the country. The data is aggregated, and that's how we present it.
Tablets for about 71 districts out of 146 have been provisioned and ready for delivery. These districts include those in Kigezi, Ruchiga, Kabale, Rubanda, Chisoro and Rukunjiri. Mnavka Farida and Andrew Sebira in Kampala.
Ugandans seeking for greener pastures abroad have been urged to avoid involvement in protests once there. This message was conveyed by the chairman NRM Canada chapter, Fred Chinene, who called on Ugandans to register for the 3rd NRM Symposium slated for August this year. We have a detailed report.
The event will be held in Ottawa, the headquarters of Uganda's embassy in Canada, with an agenda of putting the ideology of sustainable development to the forefront, among other topics for Ugandans to discuss. NRM Canada chapter chairman Fred Chinene urged all Ugandans without discrimination and regardless of their political status to attend the conference.
Let us keep our community together. Let us be one. Let us still, even with parties can be on the side, but we can also be to work together as one person. So I call upon all our NRM cadres and all other people to come together.
Chinene urged Ugandans traveling to Canada to avoid getting involved in protests and thus slandering Uganda.
People who are demonstrating and you are still a protected person, please understand the Canadian law, my brother. Understand the Canadian law. You will be demonstrating and you are putting yourself in the face of the IRC. And you are putting yourself in the face of being denied for your papers because you are a protected person and yet you are a person who never want to be protected.
A number of dignitaries and officials from Uganda are expected to be part of the team to attend.
For the NRM Canada Symposium this year are going on well. We are expecting a lot of people this time because we are in Ottawa, where many government officials and members of parliament from the Canadian government are there. It will be easier to access the venue. And then we have moved with our preparation with Honorable Nakadama. Is still in control or leading all ministers.
Minister for Education and Sports Janet Kataha Museveni has emphasized the need for those completing their studies to prioritize serving their country in rural areas for social and economic development. This was contained in the minister's speech read for her by the State Minister for Higher Education, Dr. John Chrysostom Muyingo, at the 5th graduation ceremony for the Uganda Technical College, Chema, in Masindi District.
Government is committed to continue supporting the skilling program that's aimed at emphasizing vocational training skills by constructing more vocational technical colleges across the country. Minister for Education and Sports, Janet Kataha Museveni, however, appeals to parents and guardians to encourage the young generation to curb unemployment burden by embracing vocational studies. This was contained in Mrs. Museveni's speech read for her by State Minister for Higher Education, Dr. John Chrysostom Muyingo, at the 5th graduation ceremony for Uganda Technical College, Chema, in Masindi District.
When everybody is seeking for survival skills, we need to take the children to school. To develop our economy, we need skills. And to get employment, we need skills. Let us continue to embrace the skills training and encourage as many people as possible to acquire skills for better livelihood. I wish to reiterate the NRM commitment to skill Ugandans, particularly the youth, by establishing a technical school in every constituency in the country, starting with one per district.
Over 400 graduates were awarded certificates and diplomas in various courses.
We had the following with distinctions. Nisamba Robert, who got 4.59.
Minister Muyingo, while at Masindi Technical College Chema, toured the college and advised the administration and learners to own the equipment donated by government for the betterment of the college. Masindi District LC5 Chairperson Biarhanga Cosmas commended government for supporting, especially vocational technical institutions across the country, and appealed for revamping of traditional schools.
We appreciate what government has done as regards skilling program, because Kiema is now a college with all the infrastructure. Although we still lack some equipment, especially the road equipment, which would be giving technical skills on our people who are graduating in that area. But we are happy we have enough infrastructure. However, we still have challenges regarding the lower institutions like secondary schools. Our old traditional secondary schools, that is Kabalega Senior Secondary School, Buhaga Senior Secondary School, Sapito Winyi Senior Secondary School, require total rehabilitation.
The chairperson of the governing council of the college, Chomhendo Francis, and the college principal, Musasisi Andrew, thanked government for the continuous support to the college and communities.
Technical education or skills acquisition is the way to go. So we still have high hopes that we have the numbers increased with time.
We are grateful for this intervention. Thank you, government. Training materials in form of used cars. However, Kiema also needs some new cars, as we mentioned up there. Staff training under different projects, college development through UNES and IDB, staff promotions, and also helping the college to access training partners like Enable Uganda.
Sudat Kaye and Fred Kasibante, UBC News.
The State Minister for Youth and Children Affairs, Balam Barugahara Ateni, has urged the youth of the West Nile region to embrace government grants for economic change in their lives. Balam was speaking during the handover of a community bus to the people of Arua Central Division, donated by the area Member of Parliament, Jackson Atima. He said that the parish development model and the generating growth opportunity and productivity for women entrepreneurs grow projects are some of the government's loans that the youth and women can benefit from. He also disclosed that there are funds that the government secured from the United Nations Capital Development Fund and the United Nations Population Fund meant for skilling young people.
The president has 2 programs running.
President Museveni ma program ikiri.
Actually there are 3.
Ekina.
One is the parish development model.
Allora banta yonzezu dunia ya PDM Ruta town clerk ni tsedi ari.
We had the testimony of people who said the parish development model has worked for them. From cabbage To cabbage and watermelon, he has made 6 million in 6 months. So far, 5 billion has been given to this region. And more 8 billion is coming very soon. So, get in touch with your parish chairperson, parish in the village. In your village, you have a parish. Then too, there are those young people who are women in business. We have a program called Grow. It is funded by World Bank. Grow, we have 900 billion. We are looking for 60,000 people, in younger women and women in business. Your members of parliament, I'm going to arrange a meeting for them with my cabinet minister, Honorable Betty Amongi. We meet at the ministry with your members from Greater Arua and Greater West Nile. All of them, they tell them how the project works, so that they can come back, and we identify also, we know Arua, out of the 60,000, West Nile, maybe we have 4,000. Those people can earn from $3,000, which is 12 million free, up to 115 million. And the journey for poverty have started. I'm going to open all the money that people are keeping quiet on, that is there for you. I'll tell you where the money is. I want to thank the development partners of United Nations, led by UNDP and UNFPA, who have invested in young people in 8 districts of Uganda, starting with 22 million dollars, equivalent of 80 billion. They are going to use that money to stop you, to skill you, to give you equipment. The district of Yumbe, district of Terego, district of Chiriandongo, district of Ajumani, district of Alamo, Kotido, Moroto, Namayingo, and Kampala. So those are refugee districts. Arua was left out, but we are going to fight to ensure that Arua also benefits.
Let's clap ourselves. Applause, applause. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Arua City in exciting mood. Now, as Uganda gears up to join the rest of the world to celebrate International Labour Day, our reporter Haruna Mutesasira looks at child labour as the worst form of treatment to children trapped in conflict areas in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. The report explores how many of the children are recruited as child soldiers against their will, radicalized into terrorism and extremism to commit atrocities and crime against humanity.
Vijana wanagonga na vijana wanagonga, vijana wanagonga na vijana wanagonga.
When a baby is born, everyone is happy because babies represent hope and new aspirations.
The first time you set your eyes on your baby, whether you're a father or a mother, there is that feeling you get that you cannot explain. It marks the genesis of creating a new life that God has trusted you with.
The parenting experience can lead to a profound form of well-being because it creates a feeling of a life well lived.
The first baby you have as a mother or as a father is the sweetest thing in life.
Parents provide a supportive and inclusive environment that helps the child develop social emotional skills and feel a sense of belonging. However, conflicts in communities can affect a child's growth and suffer extensive forms of exploitation and abuse. Warring parties in conflict situations expose children in domestic related violence, mainly squabbles, cooking, carrying goods, as guards, messengers, among other menial jobs.
You can easily tell the kind of child he or she is depending on where they come from. Most of these children are affected by the ways or by the situation within our homes.
Youth continue to demonstrate their desire to be active participants in their communities and have their voices heard. On 13th November 1996, a rebel group, the Allied Democratic Forces ADF, started attacks against Uganda, abducting and recruiting children into their rebel ranks. A number of children are trapped in the jungles of Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo in the worst form of child labor as a result of armed conflict. Boys are used as fighters and take direct part in combat, while the girls are sexually abused by rebel commanders.
Walitukamata na ultizeni na nani na Jibilia Muzende. Nitembea siku mbili mjini. Nitembea siku ya kwanza nikakutana na mbibi mwenjia akakimbia.
These young boys between 11 to 14 years were taken under duress and in ignorance of the consequences. The use of children in armed conflict is the worst form of child labor, a violation of human rights and a war crime.
The foundation does a lot of rehabilitation for people that have been caught up in armed conflict. Their families, those have been fighters, formers, they're handed over. We work closely with the government of Uganda and Amnesty Commission when they hand them over for us to spend a program with us of 3 months.
The Allied Democratic Forces ADF is an insurgent group with Ugandan roots that has been operating mainly in Ituri and North Kivu provinces in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo.
Serious steps being taken by the president and the army until when we achieve our strategic end state of degrading the ADF capacity to make war like we did to Kony. That's when we shall leave Eastern DRC.
A number of boys and girls have for some time been recruited into ADF rebel ranks in Eastern DRC, collaborate with some wrong Congolese elements for their survival.
Hawako wengi wenye silaha walikuwa walishatokea, tulikuwa tunabaki wanawake na watoto ndio tulikuwa wengi, na wanaume ni majority, sio wazima.
Allied Democratic Forces ADF armed conflict in Eastern DRC is the worst form of child labor in the Great Lakes region.
Most of them are handed over when they have diseases, they've been in the field or in the forest, so they're malnourished. So we treat the body, we treat the mind.
UPDF and Congolese federal forces rehabilitate, support and provide hope to the rescued young boys and girls.
If they are Ugandans, we also come up with the process with the non-government organization. We come out with the process of rehabilitation. Once they are rehabilitated, we take them back to the community wherever they have come from.
These young boys and girls were skilled after being rescued from the Allied Democratic Forces ADF rebels in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo jungles.
The first thing we do is psychosocial rehabilitation, dealing with the mind and the conscience of this individual who has been a victim or who has been a combatant.
Spiritual counseling, we're calling it spiritual counseling, but it's de-radicalization in a way. So expose them to the true interpretation of the Quran.
We thank the Almighty who saved us through the government of Uganda.
Rehabilitate them and then reunited them with their families.
Bridgeway Foundation and Uganda People's Defense Forces provide psychosocial healing process support to assist the healing process of these former ADF captives.
Through the government of Uganda, UPDF, where we joined a rehabilitation center for 3 months.
Once skilled and rehabilitated, the victims are given financial support as capital and reunited with their families.
Any abductee who has been rescued from the bushes have come out. They generally will never want to go back.
Both Uganda and DRC National Child Policy upholds the children's rights and protect them from all forms of abuse, exploitation, and violence. Haruna Mtesasira, UBC News.
The Lions Club International has partnered with the World Food Programme to donate food relief in schools in Karamoja sub-region in fighting hunger. Now, this was revealed at the 21st Multiple District Convention held in Entebbe, where the government of Uganda committed to offer a conducive environment to enable NGOs continue giving a helping hand to marginalized groups. Details in the story.
According to a global report on the food crisis that was released on 24th April this year, 282 million are experiencing acute hunger in 2023, a worldwide increase of 24 million from the previous year. Megag Abdrahman, the representative from the World Food Programs, while delivering his keynote address on fighting hunger in the 21st century, said climate change continues to raise havoc in East Africa, which resulted in hunger as a big crisis to Africa.
For 4 consecutive years, the proportion of people facing food acute insecurity has remained persistently high. Intensified conflict and insecurity, the impacts of economic shocks, the effects of extreme weather events are continuing to drive acute food insecurity.
In response to the existing challenge, Lions Club committed to inject $1 million in partnership with the World Food Programme to donate food relief in schools in Karamoja region. According to Dr. Dans Naturinda, the chairperson organizing committee for the convention, Lions have 5 major causes they focus on addressing hunger in Karamoja to reduce on the number of school dropouts.
World Food Program with $1 million, which is supposed to feed over 260,000 children in Karamoja. The project starts in July this year and it's going to run for 1 year. Now, during that 1 year, in addition to feeding the children, we're also going to empower the schools to be able to produce more food.
Our motto is that we serve. We always focus on serving the less privileged, and we've done quite a lot in Uganda here as I talk. We are working on a comprehensive eye care project in Zambia.
This year's 21st convention has today officially opened by the Minister for General Duties from the Office of the Prime Minister, Honorable Justin Kasule Lumumba, who represented Vice President. The Vice President, retired Major Jessica Alupo, lauded the Lions Clubs International for tireless efforts in supporting humanitarian lives and appreciated the partnership that aims at helping the Karamoja region.
No government can offer 100% service, but you come in to fill up gaps touching people's hearts. As government of Uganda, we remain committed to offer a conducive environment so that you also, as Lions, can come to serve and fill up gaps.
In this convention, themed A Better 21st Century Lions Club International, members expect to handle on youth issues and refugee host communities and on how to integrate with local communities. They are now reviewing the performance of the last 1 year and plan for the next year and elect the new leaders. I'm Nafka Farida and Sulaka Gugube.
Fred!
Osmosis.
Freddy! Fred Dollar! My boss, CEO Inojo, the general of generals, the conqueror of conquerors, the first and the final, the sky above the skies, the promised land, the terms and the conditions, the international king crocodile, the source of the
Osmosis.
the Nile.
I don't have money today.
Just take a polite loan of 200k to stock on my shop. The signs and symptoms of success. The bank commander, not the bank teller.
Why hassle for a loan when you've got MTN Momo? We're sorting. Use the Momo app or dial *165*5# for all quick loans. Choose from the different loan options from our partners and get one that works for you. Together, we're unstoppable.
Gold. We all want it. That soft yellow glow of a subdued sun in your hands. That precious polish of elegance. To hold it is one thing, but to taste it is everything else. Relish the satisfying taste of a beer, unmatched in quality, unmatched in consistency, and with 23 Global Gold Awards. A beer unmatched in gold.
Welcome to the EFRIS
Fact Checker, proudly brought to you by the Uganda Revenue Authority. Is the EFRIS a tax? EFRIS is not a tax. It stands for the Electronic Fiscal Receipting and Invoicing Solution, which is a platform designed to monitor the value-added tax VAT reported to the Uganda Revenue Authority by traders. By using EFRIS, you can eliminate the tedious process of managing records and enjoying the benefits of an efficient and streamlined system. Is EFRIS compulsory in Uganda? Only VAT-registered taxpayers who must issue e-invoices are required to use EFRIS for all transactions, whether exempt or taxable. Does the Uganda Revenue Authority expect me to use EFRIS when I'm not VAT registered? You can enroll for EFRIS voluntarily even if you are not VAT registered. This allows you to enjoy the benefits it offers to businesses. Have taxpayers been supported to use EFRIS? The Uganda Revenue Authority has a taxpayer education and support program that is comprehensive in its scope. The program aims to promote awareness among taxpayers about various strategic initiatives that the URA has implemented. How is the Commission agent, also known as the Omoyiribi, affected and assisted under EFRIS? If a common agent or Omoyiribi is registered for taxes, they are required to keep stock of the goods they sell and issue an electronic invoice. However, if a commission agent is not registered for VAT, they can sell the items as usual and provide a regular receipt. It is important to ensure that the receipt includes all necessary information, such as the business name, date, contact information, tax identification number, description of items, and the amount sold, among other details. What happens when the network or internet is down while using EFRIS? You can issue e-invoices using EFRIS app or desktop software, even in offline mode. However, you must connect to the internet within a week to upload the generated information to the system. What platforms are in place to enable you use EFRIS? The Uganda Revenue Authority has provided alternative channels and technology options that traders may choose from to use EFRIS. These include the EFRIS app on mobile smartphones, the desktop application, the URA web portal, the electronic fiscal device, and the system-to-system connection. Welcome back. You're still watching the UBC News Tonight, broadcasting live from Nile Avenue. Now, the Ministry of Water and Environment is implementing a Karamoja drought resilience project where 2 valley dams are being constructed in the district of Amudat and Kotido in Karamoja sub-region. Now, the dams will each have the capacity of 10 million cubic liters of water and will cost 24 million euros.
Minister of Water and Environment, with funding from German Financial Corporation through KfW, is implementing Karamoja Drought Resilience Project in Amudat and Kotido districts. The project is aimed at constructing 2 10 million cubic litre valley dams.
In Karamoja, we have a situation where we have good rains and then we have extreme drought. So during the rains, we have extreme floods. And then during the dry season we have the extreme drought. So this intervention is intended to ensure that we provide strategic storage reservoirs which store the water during the floods, during the rain seasons, and then we make it available for use during the drought season.
This project in two clusters, the Msui cluster, which covers Kapiriplit and Amudat district local governments, and then the other second Nangolokolon cluster covers Kotido and Kabong district.
We would expect this project to be completed in that is around 2028-29.
The valley tanks and 4 boreholes will be spread within a radius of 20 kilometers in the districts of Amdat, Nakapiriprit, Kotido and Kabong.
10 kilometers away, a radius of about 10 to 20 kilometers away from the reservoir, to ensure that pastoralists migrating from within Karamoja and those from neighboring Kenya don't start with watering at the valley.
The site selection for the planned drought-resistant infrastructure will be guided by the local communities. Amdat District Administrative Officer Emmanuel Oyuge is worried about the increasing incomplete central monitored projects in Karamoja.
Evident and it's noted that central government projects are not completed in Karamoja, but only money allocated to it are spent.
OPM is mandated to coordinate and monitor government programs. So that is why we have to be on this committee and make sure that this project is executed in a way that it has, according to the way it has been drawn.
Ensure that projects are implemented effectively and completed, and there is total buy-in of the implementation.
Meanwhile, the Advisory Committee on Karamoja Drought Resilience Project toward the dam site in Losidoko Sub-County, Amdat District. The Project Advisory Committee is comprised of officials from the Office of the Prime Minister, Minister of Water and Environment, Minister of Agriculture, Animal Husbandry and Fisheries, civil society organizations, district officials from Amdat, Nakapiriprit, Kotido and Kabong, among others. I'm Nafka Farida and Moriniga.
Minister of State for Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, Bright Ramirama, has lauded the Uganda People's Defence Forces for engineering, the Uganda People's Defence Forces Engineers Brigade, for their great contribution towards the construction of site allocation to them. Now, he said this during the opening of the rooms which are new for senior staff officers at Ngarama Health Center 3 and 1 inpatient department block at Kasana Health Center 3 built by the UPDF in Isinjiro district. More details in this report.
The UPDF Engineers Brigade Saturday handed over new rooms for senior staff officers at Ngarama Health Center 3 and 1 inpatient department block at Kasana Health Center 3.
I take this singular honor to open this facility.
When we come on the ground, we are having some local contents. Local boys, they come, they help us, like helping some mansions. We cooperate to them so that they can have a living. All the materials we are buying them from within locally, we leave that money on the ground.
Minister of State for Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, also area member of Parliament, Isinjiro County North, Bright Ramirama commended the UPDF for doing quality work.
UPDF mutano gwabire uri discipline. Ati discipline eje mkurejo niye kubaletera bakore kintu bakakora bill zo quantities nko kuba kuzenda era abantu bakabatira umungaro bakabasima. Awukaga namahegani. Ekiga kubera cheap sente zikabanje. Nwahereza umushara. Bakuza kukayaringa consultant. Ugu ni engineer, ugu captain umukuribo. Ni engineer. Hati amahega kare kubaye batari kugwana harutaro baba bariyo kumbarakisi. Hati kwa batari harutaro nbanu bakore mirimo yachi hawanayinchi.
He appealed to government to continue trusting the UPDF with more projects of construction because they know what they do.
We are professionals. We are learned. We are doing what we studied. We have studied, we have graduates. All our teams, we are doing what we studied, and we have done it day in, day out, year in, year out.
Isinjiro District Chairman Aaron Turahi thanked government and the UPDF in particular for this timely intervention, saying This will improve health services in the area.
As health workers have been moving long distance, 2 kilometers and 1.5 kilometers to access the facility, but now that they have the facility nearby the health center, they will at least try by all means to do the needful and help our people in time.
The beneficiaries of these projects lauded government for these initiatives in anticipation for improved health services.
Yeah, so we appreciate. But much as we have received it, it adds on the very few accommodation units which we had. We still have a gap of 12 accommodation units.
Benon Mukwaya, Akampurira Nelson, Isinjiro.
Ugandan researchers have been called upon to close the missing gaps which limit them from carrying out impactful research to society. This was during a 5-day training of early career researchers held at Kyambogo University. More details in this report.
Research papers.
According to researchers from Makerere University, the current society is becoming increasingly complex with a lot of emerging development changes that require evidence-based knowledge and information to feed into the mitigation process. They believe this is only possible if researchers are motivated.
We want also to thank the government of Uganda because there are a number of challenges that we face as students, and one of it is limited funding. But the government of Uganda has really been instrumental, and through the innovation grant, some students have been able to really be supported through that fund. And we are asking for more. For us to really transform our society, we are asking that the government really looks into funding research and innovation. For example,
we expect the government, yes, to continue supporting us, but at some point, the government is telling us that we ought to look at self-sustainability by sales and other initiatives.
There was a call to raise awareness about research in Uganda, since it's a vital tool for fostering implementation of key development areas in Uganda's political, social, economic, and technological spheres.
Vice Chancellor, in his remarks, gave us a very important takeaway that for this country to advance and develop, you need a knowledge economy. And that knowledge economy comes with the production of PhD students and PhD work that is being done. When you have all these people producing their research, that research builds into what is called a knowledge economy, and that's how countries, for example, the VC talked about how China has advanced very fast because of being a knowledge economy.
In order to achieve the goal of understanding the socio-economic situation of Uganda, Ugandans are urged to upscale their reading culture.
Then, of course, we make a drive to make sure that these books are read. So the other objective of the Mark Press is promote a reading culture within the country. So going to secondary schools, primary schools, so that we can promote that reading culture. But we also intend, one of our objectives actually is also to publish books for all levels. Primary level.
The annual Forum for Graduate Research and Dialogue Policy was under the theme Regional Integration and Development. Mario Nawori and Robert Katamba for UBC.
To ensure that
we do beg your pardon, that was at Makerere University. Now, in Kyambogo, relatedly, researchers have also called upon government to extend to them more financial aid, saying that research is not just the creation of new knowledge, but also the transformation of that knowledge into effective solutions. This was during the closure of the annual Forum for Graduate Research and Dialogue Policy at Kyambogo.
Findings are used to inform policy formulation. Experts are advised to look out for the barriers to impactful research so as to better societies and the country as a whole.
The research skills, the sorts of questions your Ugandan colleagues want to address are of societal importance. What I think is needed now is them to look a bit more outward and get a bit more confidence in the sense of applying for grants, going to conferences. The skill set here, the expertise is out of this world wonderful. I think there's just a bit of an opportunity now to develop it a bit more, and they'll be help advance their institutions.
That when Ugandan researchers have found a question that they think is important for the Ugandan people, that they can do that research efficiently, that they can do it effectively at high quality, that the answer that they get, they can rely on that answer. And therefore we can build programs to deliver those things based on this knowledge which was obtained by research done in Uganda. So we can help equip them with the techniques to do that.
The 5-day training has provided insightful knowledge on how researchers can come up with impactful research projects and how they can successfully accomplish them.
We want, of course, to also help the people out there doing research be able to do it in the correct way, be able to design projects in a proper way, be able to also manage the grants in the appropriate way. So the researcher out there, or people who anticipate to take on the research world now, with this kind of training, it should be able to help them and equip them. And the good thing, you've trained a trainer, and hence you've trained the entire institutions.
The workshop has really helped me get different experiences. The workshop has mainly been dealing with quantitative research, and I'm good in qualitative, very good. So it has helped me get all the experiences for quantitative, and I will make sure that I help my students on that paradigm too. And I think I'm well grounded.
Researchers want government to increase research fund for the agriculture and health sectors, as they are the major drivers to economic transformation. They promise to use the knowledge acquired to better their research journeys.
Some of these areas have been prioritized in the national development plans, in Vision 2040 and Vision 2060. Some of these are in those policies and development plans that have been, those policies that are in place. But you know very well that our competitive advantage as a country, our backbone is in the area of agriculture. That is where we can secure a lot of resources. Even if it comes to export of these materials, we can prioritize making sure that, first of all, the country is food secure. And then another area that also becomes very, very important is the area of health. There are many people in the countryside that are actually still grappling with many diseases, some of which are neglected.
And now in the world of business, Equity Bank Uganda has commissioned its third Equity Leadership Program, targeting 110 beneficiaries to be trained in financial management and finance-related aspects of transforming lives. These secondary school leavers are to serve as Equity Bank ambassadors in universities as they are about to be enrolled.
The third cohort of Equity Leadership Program is comprised of 110 beneficiaries who will propagate Equity Bank values of financial management, leadership skills, and attitude changes towards society transformation.
We put them through a week of induction, teach them about leadership, strategy, time management, discipline, and all those things as we prepare them to enter and work with the bank for about 3 months. There they again will learn the rigor of the work life.
Orientation of these chosen members centered on values of integrity, attitude change, and being good time managers in their career.
The youth are the majority of the people in Uganda today. So this program leverages the youth in whatever sector they go. Some will be doctors, some will be teachers, some will be artists, some will be engineers. But in all those fields, they will become ambassadors for equity.
The bank has supported and mentored these career chasers to apply to different universities locally, regionally, and internationally.
We get them young, we mold them, we mentor them, we coach them, we guide them. We push them into the workspace When they go to university, they are examples of leadership. Also, we try to make sure they can have access to global universities. They can end up applying and getting into Yale, into Cambridge, into Harvard, MIT.
I'm really sure that with what I have learned and what the other ALP scholars have learned, we are ready to change the world, and we are ready to see the change that we see in ourselves disperse in our communities and in Africa at large.
These have been given tips of penetrating into the current innovative world, which calls for high level of entrepreneurship and formidable networks.
Build strong networks during your internship at Equity Bank, internationally as you will travel to learn, and also with the other opportunities that you will have. By living the shared values and principles of leadership, you'll have a strong basis to address societal issues and become valuable contributors to the community.
The recruited third Equity Leadership Program beneficiaries will join some Equity Bank branches at contract basis, while others will propagate Equity Bank values, especially financial literacy, in their education jurisdictions. Komagum Rogers and Abdul Nasir Lubwama for UBC.
Government has been tasked to consider registration of farmers' local seed varieties in the national and regional seed catalogue. Now, this was made by the different partners and stakeholders, including farmers who showcased some of the contributions of small-scale farmers towards biodiversity conservation.
Registration of farmers' varieties in national and regional seed catalogue as a seed regulation has sparked heated debate at local and international forum in recent years. Farmers have made significant contributions to development, management, and conservation of a diverse range of crop varieties, but national seed regulation typically focuses only on crop varieties produced by the formal seed system. Article 9 of the International Treaty on Plant Genetic Resources for Food and Agriculture recognizes farmers' contributions to the conservation and development of plant genetic resources and states that governments are responsible for protecting farmers' rights in accordance with their needs and priorities.
Ate kitaliwo kati mbadde ngamba tuddeyo ku nkola yaffe ey'edda kijja kutuyamba nnyo okukuuma ebintu byaffe bino. Kati ng'ebijanjaalo ng'ebyo byenayogeddeko nga bya mutiki kati byabula, so singa twali tubikuuma nga tumanyi nti bya mugaso singa kati bikyaliwo.
Samakula Emmanuel, a peasant farmer in Sebobo village, Busunju Town Council, Mitana District, says their efforts are still not recognized by various actors like researchers, academia, and policymakers.
Tuleme kukola ki okubisaanyaawo oba teekalirijja tusanga tukyalina ebijanjalo byaffe ebyo gwe tova kigenda kujja wabula nyweza kyokola ki kyolina nga bagamba nti ekinyonyi kyolina mu mukono gwo ekimu kisinga 10 eripaapaala.
Farmers' varieties are often appreciated for their attractive characteristics for both producers and consumers, such as adaptability to harsh climate conditions and high nutritional values.
Edda mbuto bwaffe abaana ente ennyingi ng'obusa bukola bulungi buki nakati bukola.
The farmer seed systems contribute to about 80% of the seeds to the farming communities in Uganda, with farmers' varieties being passed from generation to generation. Akim Baraine, the chairperson, Eastern and Southern Africa Small Farmers Forum Uganda, underscores the growing interest and efforts among different stakeholders to push for recognition and registration of farmers' varieties in terms of origin and unique attributes C.
Because when you are not registered, you cannot even multiply. But the most important thing is business. Our seed is not allowed in the market. When you are found selling the farmer seed, it is illegal and criminal. We believe that when they are registered, we shall be able to also be able to market and sell our seed in the open shops or open places where they are supposed to be, rather than to keep it for our own consumption.
Among the different actors that have embarked on the journey to justify the need for recognition of farmers' varieties is Oxfam.
So through different approaches like the Farmer Field School, farmers are in position to produce seeds, to multiply seeds, and even use it over time. Still through partners, Oxfam has established community seed banks that help farmers to store their seed where they can easily access it and utilize it.
Unlike the small-scale farmers' limited understanding of the varieties' genetics, the breeders are always equipped with plant genetic information, and this is where the informal seed systems get challenged. Robert Katamba, UBC News.
And in the world of sports, in the ICC T20 Women's World Cup Global Qualifiers, Uganda's women senior team, the Victoria Pearls, recovered from the humiliating loss in the opening game to defeat the US by 8 wickets in their second game played at Sheikh Zayed Stadium, Abu Dhabi, in the United Arab Emirates, as Grace Joyce Kimigisa reports.
Sights of joy, relief and hope filled the Sheikh Zayed Stadium in Abu Dhabi as the Victoria Pearls walked off the pitch after defeating USA by 8 wickets in their second game at the ICC T20 Women's World Cup Global Qualifiers. The ladies lost the toss and were elected to field, limiting USA women to 110 runs for 5 wickets in 20 overs. In the second innings, though the Pearls suffered 2 quick wickets of Proskovia Alako and Esther Irokol, it was Immaculate Naksui, 68 runs for 64 balls, and Stephanie Nampina, 33 runs from 27 balls, all not out, who took the bull by the horns, securing Uganda a much-needed 8 wickets win with 10 balls to spare. Immaculate Naksui's exceptional performance with the bat won her the Player of the Match award.
Our game against Scotland didn't go well because we had a very our fielding display was bad, and that's something that we worked on. And to come to the USA game, if you had an opportunity to watch or follow the game, the girls did a very amazing job on the field. The bowlers bowled in very good lines. They bowled in partnerships, and then another thing, when it came on to bat, we had a very good partnership from Stephanie and Immaculate coming on to score 50 plus runs, and that's what helped us get on the mark. The win has helped give the players a little bit of confidence. The players are in a happy mood. They now believe that they can put up a good fight with any team that comes against them. I think it has boosted our morale, it has given us confidence, and I hope that we shall carry the same energy, the same momentum into the Thailand game.
We managed to get our first win against US in our second game. I think that builds the team, vibe in the camp, and which is something we want to see as the technical bench. It was also good to see some batters put up their hands for the team and showing a good fight. That was Immaculate Nachisui and Stefan Nampin having a partnership of over 100. That was nice to see, and at least it builds confidence within the batters. Then when it comes to the bowling, at least it's good to see some bowlers stick to the team plans, bowling straight, stump, and the field as a whole backing up the whole bowling plans. And I think it builds good momentum when it comes to the next game against Thailand.
I'm happy for the win against USA, and I'm happy to have contributed to the team's win at large. I had belief in the rest of the players that were coming into bat because I believe in them, and we believe in them as a team.
This is the first win for Uganda in this competition, and it puts Uganda third on the table of 5 with 2 points and 2 games to play. First lot in the World Cup, Uganda needs to finish second in the group stages, move to the semi-finals, and then finish in the finals. The Victoria Pearls are back in action on Monday, 29th April 2024 against Thailand, and the game will be under the lights. Grace Joyce Kimigisa, UBC News.
And that brings us to the end of our 10 o'clock edition of the UBC News Tonight. Thank you for being a lovely audience. My name is Wadulo Mark Arnold. Mogalu Mohammed on Sign Language. Have a lovely night.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
International Labour Day is celebrated every year on 1st May. This day is commemorated in appreciation of the contribution of workers to national development. It is also used to raise consciousness on the importance of promoting and protecting the rights of workers. This year, the national celebrations will be held at Mukabura Grounds, Fort Portal City, under the theme Improving Access to Labour Justice, a prerequisite for increased productivity. Join us on Wednesday, 1st May, as we bring you the celebrations live on UBC, inspiring Uganda.
This weekend on UBC.
This whole attitude of being relentless, do you feel like it was instilled in you as a child? Where did it derive from?
God shows you a project to accomplish. When you finish, it doesn't end there. You see another one. You continue. Take a simple example. You climb Mount Karamoja. Are you satisfied with that? No. You would like to climb Mount Everest. When you finish Mount Everest, then what else? You look for another. Yes.
From humble beginnings in the hills of Kapchora to representing Uganda at the Olympics all around the world.